I think a lot of people are still strongly in denial and probably afraid for good reasons that Donald Trump is not what he presented himself to be, with the recent announcement regarding pulling out of the nuclear treaty signed between Reagan and Gorbachev back in the early 80s. There's a lot of people that are a little bit confused. So a lot of people are looking at the weapons that have been built and the plans for global conflict, and they're a little bit confused as to how any of it could even happen, why it would happen, because to them as humans, it doesn't make sense to just go around destroying things and destabilizing civilizations. But everything is moving along on a particular trajectory, and we're seeing the archetype of the destroyer really show itself, but not just through one person, but really through the system itself. And the knowledge that we have accrued about a lot of these different governments being interlocked, there's really another story as to what's taking place here. There's the public version of things and how the media will report on a meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. And of course, they're going to have limited access, but the real meetings are held behind closed doors, or probably have been done way in advance. And it's a system of control that a lot of people don't understand. There's no rationale for people, for example, several years ago that fell into this mindset of the left-right paradigm, for them to make excuses for what's happening now. We've already gone through the strikes on Syria, which ironically occurred a year apart, back to back. So I believe April in 2017 and April of 2018. And so here we are with also skirmishes in the South China Sea, and China having their position on what happened, on which naval group is actually responsible for the increased aggression. And as we see things build up in Portland, Oregon, and people fighting in the streets, we see an odd timing with the economy potentially teetering on edge, issues with YouTube, issues with free speech, and more of a need for us to be aware of what's going on as the world inches closer to war. So yeah, I think that this is probably one of the most hair-raising news items about Trump pulling out of the nuke deal for a lot of people, for a lot of reasons, regardless of their political position. And there's a lot more that I want to say on this, but I did start an urban survival series on this channel. There's a couple different parts where I'm just covering different elements. Open to your feedback on other bits of information, but I'm experiencing what could be described as the rural survival element. You know, and before, if you will, the shit hitting the fan, getting accustomed to the type of challenges that come when one lives without running water, without electricity, without being close to civilization. It's not easy, but it seems to be necessary for a reason. So there's a lot more thoughts I can share, but that's, in a nutshell, what I think has a lot of the world on edge right now, as people wonder where this is going to go, right? How can this go wrong?